Hi, and welcome to the Simply Rhino for Mac tutorial series. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover a query that I had from a previous tutorial we posted, and then I'm going to quickly move on to selection, then we're going to look at control points and solid points. I had a query in the one of the previous tutorials I had, and I was just asked if I could just demonstrate how I went about placing some surfaces at different heights within the model. So let me just quickly show you how we would do that. If I come up to the top here, I'm just going to choose surface, plane, corner to corner. And note here, top left hand corner, first corner of plane. So, and now placing the other corner. So there's one surface. Now let's just quickly copy this along the top construction plane. If I just pull the green arrow here whilst depressing the Alt key, plus symbol appears, I can quickly make a copy. So I'm just going to now pull this red arrow whilst holding down the Alt key and release. So there's my three surfaces. Now I could quickly move those onto different layers here by selecting the object with a single left click, moving my cursor over to the layer panel here, and now I'm going to move objects to this layer and do the same here. Select this object here and I'm going to move it to layer 5 here by right clicking and sliding down the list here to move objects to this layer. Now in the previous exercises I had different heights of these, so I could either select the object here and I can drag this blue arrow up like so, and this one here. Okay, so that's one method of just placing three different surfaces at different heights. So let's move on now. I'm just going to delete those to having a look at selection. Now I'm just going to select a few objects in order to demonstrate that. So I'm going to create some boxes. So I'm going to go up to solid, box, corner, height. Here, top left hand corner, Rhino's asking me to define the base and then a height. Now, just as I demonstrated here, I'm just going to make some copies here by dragging this object. You can either hold down the Alt key just before you start dragging one of these arrows of the gumball, or you could tap the Alt key. Short, sharp tap will result in a copy of that object. Okay. Now selection. Single left click, the object turns yellow. That's why we don't draw in yellow. Now, if I wish to add an object to my selection, I would hold down my Shift key to add those to my selection. To take one of those objects out of my selection, I depress the Command key, and that would take out those objects from the selection. If you wish to deselect an object, just make a single left click in an open space, or alternatively, you could just tap the Escape key. Now, solid points. Now, polysurfaces or extrusions have solid points associated with them. Now, to turn those on, I select the object, I come up to my solid tools here, and I've got a little button here, solid, edit, solid points on. And you see now that Rhino has revealed what appears to be very similar to a control point, which are now known as solid control points, in each corner. And I can select those with a window there, and I can drag those. Let's actually make sure I find all 4 of those, and I can drag those forward like so. Now, another way of doing the very same thing would be to use something called sub-select. Now, if I hold down my Command button and the Shift key, I can select a single surface. This is called sub-select. And with my gumball on, I can carry out the same transform commands that I could use if I was to come up to the list here and choose transform. So Let's pull that forward. See, and let's just do that again with the Command key, Shift key. I'm going to find that top surface here and pull that forward. What I'd like to quickly show you actually is just show you the great use that we have of solid control points. But first of all, let's just create something. I've gone up to the solid menu here. I'm going to choose text. I'm just going to accept that default setting there. Ooh, okay, let's just do that again. Let's just enlarge it. I could have scaled it up. But text and 1 centimeter it is. Let's just change that to 10. Solid thickness, that'll do. Okay. Now I'm just going to move this object. Let's group them. Come over to the standard toolbar here and I choose group. Now if I just pull them up to a height, let's go to 4 views actually and just to get the height right. I just want to bury them in the top surface like so, get the height correct, and now I know that if I pull this they will be embedded into the surface here. Now, I'm going to use a command called solid difference, which is a Boolean command, which we will cover in the future. But let's just, if I enter that, press enter, and then I choose this, press enter. Now what that's done is that it's carried out, a Boolean is an automation of 4 commands that we have in Rhino. But it's resulted in the impression of that solid text being formed and kind of created an engraving in the top of this box here. The reason why I'm showing you this is because I want to show you solid points, how solid points works in this instance. So let's select the object. I'm going to come up to solid tools here and I choose solid points on. Let's have a look in the top view. Just zoom out a bit here. Now look, if I window select those solid points, look, if I drag that, I'm moving that and I'm altering that engraved impression on the top of that box. Let's get back to the perspective. Okay, so you can see a good use there of solid points. Now, let's just complete my coverage of selection. Okay, we said that a single left click results in the object turning yellow, and we said that adding to a selection, hold down the Shift key, take away from a selection is depressing the Command key. Now, we also have window selections in Rhino. If I window select this box here, moving from left to right, note that the line formed is a solid line. This is called an enclosing window. You need to fully enclose an object for it to be selected. You see, if I fully select those two, they'll both be selected. Now, if I move my crossing window from right to left, it will be a broken line, and that only just needs to touch the object in order for that to be, for the selection to take place. Thanks for joining us today. Please subscribe to the Simply Rhino for Mac YouTube channel to receive updates when the new tutorials are posted. Thank you.